Hello, what is going on? You are watching and listening to Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live edition. I am your host, Stevie, the OG Sex Positive Podcast, alongside Kodi Maurice Doggette. How the hell you doing, Kodi?
Hello, darling. I'm doing wonderful. Oh my God, it's almost Christmas. I'm starting to get the spirit.
Yes, exactly. We are live tonight, as we always are, on the vocal platform. Say hi to us. I see Bryce joining us live. Hi, Bryce.
Hi,
And I know
Bryce.
people are going to be trickling in. It's that time of year. It is our last episode of 2022 of Tags Live.
Oh,
Don't forget.
wow.
Yeah, Tags Live.
Yeah.
We will be off. Listener notice, we will be off next Wednesday, December 28th, recognizing just the holiday. We're just going to take a little break, but we're back in January with all new episodes. But so we are going to live this hour up with our last episode of Tags Live. We do have an episode of Tags Podcast coming out next Tuesday, so not to worry. Stay tuned for that. Okay, so much to get into on this episode 425. I am in the Bay Area, having a great time of California. Yeah, my sister's tree is in the background. I'm excited about that. Yep. Did you finally decorate, Kodi?
Not quite
Okay,
yet.
it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I'm
No, it still could happen. It could still. It could be a Christmas
yeah.
miracle. Yeah.
Okay, we'll see. Well, today
Santa could bring it.
Santa can bring it. Today is
Yeah.
the official first day of winter, December 21st. It is winter solstice. So that means that it is the shortest day of the year and the longest night. So it's all down here. It's all uphill from here. Yeah. This is like the shortest day of all. So, yeah, I know. Ooh, I know exactly.
And
all
it's
right.
cold in New York, so oh my
goodness. I bet. Well, we love it when you respond back or talk back to us. And on our Instagram page at TAGSPodcast, Raheem wanted to let us know when we recorded episode 424, our holiday episode with Lincoln. He says, I love you guys. Happy holidays. Thank you for all that you do. Well, thank you, Raheem. We appreciate that.
Raheem.
Yeah, I will. I want to know where you listen from, Raheem. We always want to know where you listen from. That's very important to us. Johnny, who I believe lives in New York, had said, thank you for all the shows this year. Glad we got the chance to share the struggle of Lincoln's classes, laughing out loud. Oh, he takes Lincoln's class.
Oh, yes.
Oh, exactly. Thank you, Johnny. So Johnny said he just wanted to comment on the $24 cocktail story that we were talking about in WeHo. Remember that one? For those of you who didn't catch it, there's a new bar that goes by the name O-R, and they have $24 cocktails, which we thought was a little pricey and a little steep. Lincoln and Pizza, his fiance, thought, hey, listen, if it is what it is in this climate. So he says he agrees you can buy a bottle with that money, but you can do most things at home for less money, particularly in New York. I guess you pay for the experience, friends, vibes, and to help your local bars out. Happy holidays, says Johnny. Thank you, Johnny.
Happy holidays, Johnny. See you in class.
Absolutely. We will be taking Lincoln's class in the new year. Okay, we've got a lot to cover on this episode, including some really good news. We're going to start off on a good note. We are live, so comment in the comment section. We'll be reading comments throughout the hour. So we have to report on the dictionary, which makes trans-friendly updates to the words man and woman. We're talking about the Cambridge Dictionary, which recently updated its entries for a man and a woman to include transgender people.
Beautiful.
The latest, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, what's the, what? Oh my God. I'll say it in a minute. Hold on one second.
Okay, all right. Let me get this out. Let me get this mouthful out, and then I want to hear from you. So a spokesperson for the Cambridge Dictionary told CNN, actually, that the updates went into effect in October, but the move seemed to go largely unnoticed until this particular week when the dictionary expanded definition of woman garnered backlash from, of course, conservative commentators on social media and was subsequently covered by right-leaning media outlets. And while the Cambridge Dictionary's primary definition for woman remains an adult female human being, a second definition refers to an adult who lives and identifies as female, though may have been said to have a different sex at birth. Similarly, the British Reference Guide defines man as an adult male human being and also an adult who lives and identifies as male, though they may have been said to have a different sex at birth. These are really, what were you going to say, Kodi? But I just think this is really breakthrough that we're having major things like the dictionary. And we've been reporting on other things that are really changing legitimizing things that really do exist. Our acronym, and it's just with all the hate towards our community going on right now, this is a breath of fresh air that you can't argue with that.
Yeah, 100% agree. And this is the Cambridge Dictionary, so this is the UK dictionary.
Correct.
Okay, fabulous. So my joke was going to be J.K. Rowling. I know that she's rolling over in her bed, tossing and turning. She ain't getting no sleep at tonight because she is not happy about this. But it's such a good thing because things like this matter. Things that go into our dictionaries, our tools of learning, and out to the world, they really matter into getting people's mind wrapped around this. And I think that it's kind of like the Cambridge Dictionary saying to the people that trans people aren't going anywhere. They're here, they're queer, and we are staying. Gosh damn it. It's better than bootylicious being in the dictionary because, you know bootylicious is in the dictionary, right?
Oh, yeah. I bet. Yeah, which is great.
I mean, I would rather have this than bootylicious. If they asked me, then I would definitely come up with some different words that should go in.
That's more bootylicious. Yeah, that's slang, and I don't even know if people really use bootylicious anymore. It was like, do they?
She called me old.
I just think that, for me, really, it's, there's a documentary that's coming out about the actual the religion, and it's going to be talking about the Bible and how this new documentary, which is starting in Palm Springs, I wish I could see it and go see it, but it's essentially saying we got it all wrong, that the interpretation where people quote the Bible today, where say that, no homosexuality has been misinterpreted through Latin language. And actually the 1611 version of it never said those things. It actually said between a man and like a child, like a boy. Yeah. That's what they condemn. No one throughout in 1944, the newer updated Bible is when they actually put homosexual in there. And that's when people started, but it was actually never stated. And these people do their research, and it's going to be presented in this amazing new documentary. I'll post the trailer on TAGSPodcast.com. But to your point, to major things that we hold up, like the Cambridge Dictionary and the Bible, that really the right wing have utilized against our community, particularly recently. These are just showing like, don't get it misinterpreted. And we are doing our research and clapping back in a big way. Right. And I love that. Yeah, yes. Absolutely. We are live. So Kodi's in charge of reading some of the commentary back as I pull up some stories. So let us know what you think.
Bryce says that he's quite bootylicious. And I said, look, I see people are still using it is my retort for you because.
All right. I stand corrected. Nice. Okay. Also interesting. I think this is good news. Pegging, you know what pegging is. it's traditionally when a person with a vagina dons a
Mhm.
strap-on and
Okay.
anally penetrates a person with a penis. Not sure you're going to find pegging in the Cambridge Dictionary. Maybe you could look that up. No, Cody, don't do it.
I'm gonna look it up right now because I
You look
know it's
up
there.
pegging. Well, there's a new study done by Clips for Sale. Do you know that site, Clips for Sale, Cody?
No,
They do a lot of fetish porn, and essentially the way it works is somebody can post clips up there, and then you purchase the clips and download them. I've tried it before, but typically they're not always Apple, at least the ones I've tried to download, Apple compatible. And I've been
Oh.
very blue balled and frustrated when I tried to download something that wouldn't play on my computer. Well,
Oh.
pegging is one of the greatest growth stories in internet history. And this is according, like I said, to Clips for Sale. Pegging has grown an average of 44% a year in each of the past 5 years. Clips for Sale claimed, dubbing it 2023's Fetish of the Year. I like that we're already predicting sexcapades for the new year. I'm all for this. This is juicy. So the site essentially explained that this year its popularity almost doubled, with the growth accelerating in the second half of the year to nearly double what it was in 2021. We expect that by the end of 2023, pegging will become as common as rimming. Wow.
Oh, yes. Okay. I thought
This
you were
is
going to say vaginal sex. I was about to have a little bit of pushback, but
yeah. You know what I think this speaks to, just like the last story, is the changing evolution of our community, which is so exciting, but also the youth of culture today that are
Mhm.
really much more liberal and open-minded than people of a certain age. Not all of us, because I'm a person of a certain age, and I say welcome it all in. But you know, the heteros
Heard.
of the millennial and Gen Z are much more open-minded. And I can think of I have a friend that he doesn't identify as gay
Mhm.
or anything really, but he is with a woman. He would like to be pegged. He's bought his own dildo. He's dated trans women
Okay.
before, and he would definitely fall into this category. He is a millennial, and I think it really speaks to the reason why numbers, I think, and I want to hear what you think, why it could
Mhm.
be on the rise, is because of a more open-minded than, say, and shifting times, and it's kind of a positive.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that there is a high contingent of straight men in general and black gay men in particular that I've seen in this new millennium that
Yeah,
are even more open about talking about enjoying some anal pleasure back there. Uh, I have a Little Fizz. Do you know who Little Fizz is?
I do not. No.
From B2K. I have a video that I want to send you of him because he was in the news all too recently talking about how he likes to be anally pleasured. So I think
Wow.
yeah, and I actually really attribute it to uh having gay men out there and the prostate and having all of our knowledge about the prostate and anal pleasure and everything that goes on back there out into the world, and then really kind of taking that in and saying, let me give this a try, and being sexually adventurous. And like you said, many more people in the new millennium that they have gay friends and things of that nature. So I really think that it's as we become one big community that all these things tend to be more prevalent, more accepted, and I think it's lovely.
And I really agree with you on that. I do think, let's give our community a pat on the back for pushing this forward, literally, because I think you're right. Disco dancing, club music all
Yep.
started in the gay clubs, right?
Mhm.
And then everybody kind of got wind of it, and then the straights started coming to the clubs, and it's like the best thing. Why every man has a prostate, or
Yes.
men have a prostate, and
Mhm.
it's very pleasurable.
Cisgender.
And so cisgender men, thank you for that.
Mhm.
And of course, that's another example of why are we missing out, but it's really gay men that figured it out
Mhm.
back in the day, and they're coming along now. So I think it's a great trend, and I'm here for it. people understand, the more acceptance I think will help some of this hatred coming out. Because, and it's really, I know there's a lot of hatred coming out with younger people in certain parts of our country and in Europe, where a lot of our listeners reside, but there's also so much hope, and I have to believe in the hope that, you know, people have. What are people saying? I see Bryce has something to say.
Bryce has something to say. He says his only concern in this wonderful new love for trans bodies is he just wants trans people to be loved for who they are and not objectified, which I totally agree with. He sees that because some gay men just want to have sex with a trans man once in order to feel a vagina for the first time.
Ah, good point.
Yeah, I definitely see his position on that. So
yeah. All right. Again, you are listening to Tags Live, and this is episode 425. And we've got more hot topics coming your way, including if you want to have a naughty Christmas this year, like I do. I want to read you a press release of this thing I got. This next segment are different ways that you can enjoy a naughty Christmas.
Oh.
And this press release comes from Say Uncle Network. Say Uncle Network digs deep into all-star skinematic feature, I'll Be Whole for Christmas. Get it? I'll be whole. All right. Say Uncle Network is proud to introduce its first ever all-star skinematic feature film aimed at discerning fans of gay erotic cinema, I'll Be Whole for Christmas. This yummy holiday treat, led by December's Say Uncle All-Star of the Month, Brody Kamen, goes all in on the spirit of the season, including festive tree trimming, ornament decorating, and cookie baking. Oh, it sounds lovely. His stepson, played by Adrian Duvall, is happy to help. Less enthusiastic is his stepson from a former relationship, Dakota Lavelle, who blew all of his money on gifts and is looking to make extra money cash with a sex tape. Can a step family, with the help of a handsome friend played by Jacob Eloise, take the right steps to launch a financial success? Well, the feature film is set for a full release on Saturday, January 7th. I'll Be Whole for Christmas is available as a 5-part series across its other St. Uncle networks. I'll post them on TAGSPodcast, but part 1 and part 2 are now on brothercrush.com. Part 3 that comes out on December 17th and 4 on the 24th, coming to familydick.com. And part 5 on the 29th, wrapping up the finale on Say Uncle All Stars. So check that out. I'll post this all on tagspodcast.com. If you also want to have a naughty Christmas this year, you got to check out Mistr. We all know Mistr. Mistr, Mistr, is the online platform where you can get PrEP, Truvada. Essentially, if you have insurance, they will help you get it for free. In fact, I just switched insurance, and I went on there because my new insurance that kicks in the new year, Kodi, I'm a little concerned that I might have to pay a little bit out of my pocket. Mistr will, if you have insurance, will help you get it for free. They can pretty much work with your insurance company to get it for free.
That's amazing.
They are a wonderful thing. Well, they came out with a holiday song, which is really exciting. Mistr partnered up with Willem, Jackie Beat for a chillingly sexy music video. I watched this video twice. I know you did too. It's all about promoting PrEP and telehealth platform Mistr, known for providing PrEP and sexually transmitted infection testing, partnered with RuPaul's Drag Race Willem and Jackie Beat to release a holiday music video that has us all ready. And it's really good. I watched it twice, like I said. Some of the lyrics really caught my attention. It's cold outside, you're feeling randy. Too hard to hide your Christmas candy, so keep on the light. We're shameless tonight, hooking up in Mistr Wonderland.
Wow.
I need a friend who wants to blow me, and so I send a planet emoji. plant emoji, and they show the eggplant. One of my favorites towards the end
Wow,
was
a planet? Wow, that would be a great emoji if that
right.
represented my penis.
They say at the end of it, we don't slut shame. It's a really fun video. I'll post the video on TAGSPodcast.com. What did you think of the video, and what do you think of the campaign? Because Kodi, I've noticed recently that Prep on the subway in New York City has a whole campaign going right now when you're just on the subway for basically to get on Prep and how you can get onto it really quickly. Discovery is all over the site. What do you think of this video and getting the word out? Do you think it is really a part of Biden's goal to end HIV transmission? He has a goal and for 2030, keeping us safe. What is this all about? And are you here for it?
Oh, I love it. First, I want to say Willem's vocals were so good on this
Really
song.
good.
I was surprised and just pleasantly surprised by this because
Pop star like.
I was like, this is really, really great. I feel like Jackie Beats was more auto-tuned, but Willem's was actually really, really good. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. But I think that this is so amazing. We've reported on it on the show a couple times before. Jeremy has said how great it is. And I think it's a wonderful alternative for people to get their PrEP medication. And I would be very excited if it was part of Joe Biden's plan to get to lower the HIV infection rates by 2030. I think that would be amazing. The one thing I really noticed about this, and I think that it was part of Mister's advertising advertising mission, was that there was a high majority of models of color in this. And we have reported also that gay men of color have higher HIV infection rates, or they did have, but as of the last reporting, so I think this is very smart on their part, because it also shows that it also is known that they take PrEP at a lesser rate. So I think it was really, really smart of Mr. to put men of color in this song, video, what have you. And I really think that it really shows how desirable men of color can be in this time. So I thought that was really amazing of them.
Well, it's about the messaging, right?
And
And I think what part of the problem has been is like many things, it's a trickle down, and white people, white gay men, white people in the LGBT have gotten the messaging quicker, and it's trickled down. Oftentimes, many people of color get. Can you still hear me okay?
I think it kicked you out.
It did, I know, and I don't know how to kick me back in. Can you still hear me though? Okay.
I can still hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, it just knocked me out. I don't. Anyway, let me finish my point.
Okay.
I think essentially that the messaging just doesn't get to people of color, and so that's why it's a really good thing.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. If you click on that little gear at the bottom left-hand corner, it won't let you change your
thank you.
audio input.
Yeah, extra audios. Yes, thank you. How do I sound now?
Oh yeah, we are back in business.
Thank you very much. We are live, and you know how live shows are. And I am not in my home. I'm not in my home studio, so as you all know, there can always be issues when you go on the road. But thank you very much, Kodi, for figuring that out. That was my point, though. On that, it's a great music video, though. You got to check it out. And I do think the whole thing about Mr. using the drag queens, using hot, sexy men, people of color is so exciting, and it's a fun video. I'm just really happy about it, and I think it's really great. Were you going to say something, Kodi?
Nope. I was just reading the comments over here. MJ is in the building. He says he listens to the podcast every week, but his first time listening on vocal. Well, welcome, MJ. And Bryce says that when PrEP was first introduced, it was kept away from Black men because they believed Black men would somehow make PrEP not successful with preventing HIV because of perceived promiscuity. So, wow. Thank you for that tidbit of information. It
Wow.
seems they have changed their strategy and their mission because there's so many Black men in this advertisement now. So, yeah, thank goodness for that.
Again, I'll post this on TAGSPodcast.com, where you can always get show notes, links to things that we mention on the show. And it's really a portal to all things Tags Podcast, including a way to get to, if you want to support your favorite podcast, I'm talking about Tags Podcast, then you can support us by going to our Patreon page. And that's where you can grab a tier at really small amounts, and you can do it monthly. It really supports and keeps us going as we celebrate our 6th year coming up at the end of the beginning of February. That's right. Go to patreon.com/tags podcast. That's right. Okay. And lastly, in this segment, I'm calling Naughty or Nice. Next Wednesday here in San Francisco, I mentioned it before, we had them on Tags Podcast as guests, Baloney. That's right. I'm going to the Baloney show. Baloney is a male cabaret, sexy, fun, of all shapes and sizes. They perform at the Oasis, the classic Oasis, in San Francisco, that is owned by Darcy, drag queen Darcy, who I love. And they have the night before XXXmas Christmas, the night before, their version of it on their website right now. So even if you can't make their New Year's Eve spectacle happening next week, and I'm talking about, I'll be there Wednesday opening night on the 28th. They'll be there the 29th, New Year's Eve. And you can go to sfbaloney.com and watch the video night before XXXmas. It's really sexy and fun. But if you are in San Francisco, try and get tickets because they are sold out. I will be there next Wednesday, the 28th. And you never know, they pick out people from the crowd sometimes to come on. I was picked out last time and showed my ass, and it was fun. A lot of fun.
Does that put you on the naughty list or the nice list?
The naughty, of course.
Well, I'm on the nice list because I'm a good boy.
But for our show, we want to be on the naughty list. Absolutely.
Okay, one night a week for 1 hour. Okay, 2 hours a week, I'm on the naughty list. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Okay, well, we've got to talk about RuPaul, and RuPaul recently was on a guest on one of the morning shows. I believe it was the Today Show. Don't quote me on that. Where he called out anti-LGBTQ and anti-drag hate, which I'm glad, everybody who was on the Today Show last Friday, and he basically said, quote, "It's such a tragedy how our community has become so divided, and it really breaks my heart. I pray for our country and the whole world, really, and I still believe in the power of love, as this year conservative politicians and far-right extremists, as we all know, have targeted events where drag queens either had family-friendly performances or read to children in libraries. Some of them, as we all know, have been interrupted by armed members of the white supremacist groups, Patriot Front, people like the Proud Boys. Republican lawmakers in conservative states have aimed legislation at drag queens. And it really took drag queen on RuPaul's Drag Race, who I think you're familiar with, Nina West.
Love her.
Nina West says she's scared, but she won't stop Drag Story Hour. Now, I have to admit to you, Kodi, when we've been hearing a lot, I didn't even know drag queens were doing Drag Queen Story Hours.
What?
I didn't know, but I think it's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
When a lot of the hatred came out towards drag queens and calling them this trend that's been going on, calling drag queens groomers, right? Mm-hmm. That they're grooming children, sexualizing what they do. At first, I have to admit, just to be really honest, as we always are on this show, I thought maybe in this period, Kodi, hear me out. In this period, maybe we should refrain from doing Drag Queen Story Hour because of all the hatreds that's going around. Now, I have shifted, thanks to Nina West, on my thought process, because Nina West essentially says her drag is really for those members of our community that want to have families, and many within our community that want to have families, children, that they want family friendly entertainment that's oftentimes looks like them, right?
Mhm.
So she's gone on to say that she understands that a lot of people in our community have not always been so accepting of drag queen story, or like kind of the thought process I was thinking of.
Yeah.
And she really says a lot of her drag is inspired by Dolly Parton, the
Yeah.
Muppets, and Disney, which she has actually worked with over the years. And she really wants members, particularly within our community, to actually think a little bit differently, pivot with your thought process, like me.
Yeah.
And it took Nina West and this article to really have me think about it differently. And like, absolutely. And you were saying, Kodi, in our meeting the other day,
Mhm.
that it's not. I think somehow it got sexualized, and we've all gone to a drag queen show where it's been sexy fun. I was at a really fun bar industry the other day, and she was doing splits, the drag queen, and it was very hot, and Britney Spearsing it all the way,
Yeah.
and it was sexy fun. But this is different.
Yeah, completely. I think that when Drag Queen Story Hour happens, they dress more demurely. They're in gowns. I was watching We're Here, and Shangela actually did a Drag Queen Story Hour, and that got threats, and they had to cancel it. Well, they actually moved it,
Yeah.
and she was dressed in a golden gown, and the kids were calling her a princess, and it was just so innocent. And it's just so strange to me that these people can take something that's so innocent, dealing with children, and make it into this whole big thing about pedophilia. It just is mind blowing to me, and it incenses me, really. I really kind of attribute the pushback on how successful Drag Race has been all across the world. I mean, there are about 11 drag races in 11 different countries.
Franchises, yeah.
Exactly. It's one of MTV's highest watched shows, highest rated shows, and it's won so many Emmy awards. So I think that because it's so successful and it's so prevalent in the minds of the people out there in our society, that this is the easiest thing for them to come pick at, because it's, no matter how popular drag is, it'll never be mainstream, quote unquote. It's always be on the fringes, because I mean, it's basically a cisgender man dressing in at its very simplest, because there are all kinds of drags and all types of drags are valid, but it is a cisgendered man dressing in women's clothing, quote unquote. I take all of that very loosely. So I really think that that's why, because it's become so prevalent, and it's so out there in the world. And I'm so happy that RuPaul has pushed back on this and used his platform in order to defend our community, because all the people that are a fan of his show will come out and support our community, and I think that that's wonderful.
Yeah, and it's such a trend right now of the far right, which are not very creative, to really have this gaze against groomers pervasiveness going against our community. Actually, in the area that I live in Chelsea, we have a New York councilman, and
Mhm.
Eric Botcher. He tweeted that people are calling themselves gays against groomers and vandalized the walls in his office,
What?
and also managed to get into his condo, his apartment building,
Yeah, that's so sad.
and actually,
It's
like,
horrible.
that gets crazy where they're going.
That's scary.
All because there was a story hour with drag queens at a New York City library in the neighborhood that I live in Chelsea, that they were protesting against. And so it's happening all across the country, and it's this trend that they're so boring because they just locked on to this groomer thing. And all drag queens are doing is spreading love, and that's
Yeah.
why I'm so glad Mama Ru is out there
Me too.
speaking. Yeah, RuPaul doesn't have to do any of this. He's got like millions and millions of dollars, but I like that. I'm glad that he is Mama Ru and really,
Yeah.
at the helm. Right?
Flying that flag. I love it, because Mama Ru really, I think that Mama Ru really has to stick up for her kids because they are on the front lines,
Yeah.
and I think that I would kind of lose a lot of respect because immediately when I heard about all of these people protesting drag queens and things of that nature, my immediate response within myself was, "Where is RuPaul?" Because
Right.
she's the preeminent drag queen supermodel of the world. Where are you, Mama? So
Exactly.
yes, I need for Mama Ru to be at the helm of this because her voice is so important. Another thing is, now that you bring up the protesters at the council member's apartment building getting broken into, I watched a video, a live stream that he was doing during the protest of Drag Queen Story Hour in Chelsea, which is where you live. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to give out your address. I'm sorry. But yeah, go
Many
ahead.
already have it, but go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. I forgot who I was talking to
For a
for one
good
second.
time.
But yeah, it's right in our backyard, and you would think that New York City is kind of sequestered from something like this, but it's
Yeah.
not. It really is scary and shocking, and I was aghast because there was so much hate coming from this live stream, and I couldn't comprehend it actually. And all this does is embolden actual child molesters because
Right.
the eyes are on the people that aren't actually doing anything to harm children. They're on the people that are trying to uplift and teach children by reading them a book. That's
Right.
ridiculous to me.
It totally is. And by the way, let parents decide if it's appropriate for their children. Don't you decide. Many of these people, do you even have kids? And by the way, groomer, I mean, no one's forcing any of these families or children to go to these. It's parents that are making the decisions for their children. So if you don't like it and you have kids, guess what? Don't bring them to Drag Queen Story Hour. It's
Bloop.
that simple. It's
That's
not
right.
like no one ever said they're bringing them into schools and that this is a part of the curriculum that we're going to now introduce Drag Queen Story Hour. Last I checked, this is elective.
Yes.
And you have a choice, but see, it's just the far right hatred. And it goes along with our next story, which I can't even believe. We won't spend too much time because we don't like
Okay.
to talk too much about politics. But because we do live in New York City, there's a gay Republican who beat out a Democratic gay leader for the House of Representatives. And apparently we've talked a lot about this. We call out everybody. We called out a non-binary person that was elected to the human waste
Nuclear something.
nuclear waste removal last week. And
Yes.
this week we are calling out, keeping them honest, gay Republican who just got elected, like I said, to the House of Representatives in New York, George Santos. Not just because he's Republican, because he's a liar. And this is according to the New York Times, who did an in-depth analysis on his resume and found out that many of the things that he reported on, like going to Baruch School, the school said he didn't go to that, working for Goldman Sachs and other banks, they said no record of him working for that. Said he started an animal rescue foundation. Nope, didn't do that. Said that
What has he done?
Said that many of the people that worked in his office were actually affected, and some of them lost in the Pulse night shooting that happened at the Pulse nightclub a couple years ago. Nope, couldn't verify any of that. On and on with the lies, Kodi. And it's just, I love drama and I love calling out people and more keeping them honest. And I just think, I recently talked about my best sex experience last week was with a Republican, a gay Republican. So I can sleep with them and have a good discourse. But if No, and we call out everybody. The
Yeah, we
non-binary
do.
person that we called out last week.
I think he was a Democrat. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
we
sorry,
called
they were a Democrat.
yeah,
Yes,
right.
I see. I messed up.
So we're keeping them honest.
Yes.
And so, but absolutely, I couldn't wait to jump on this one,
Yeah.
George Santos. And I
Hey,
just can't wait to see where this
pun
goes.
intended.
Yeah. Right.
My first thought is, how are these people getting away with this? Sam Brinton lied about this, about abuse for years,
Yeah.
and George Santos is lying about his entire resume. I can't even lie to. I can't lie to anybody. I can't lie to my mama. I can't lie to the IRS. I can't lie to anybody and get away with it. So
And you're going to think that you're going to run for office or hold a public position like Sam Brinton did, and think that no one's going to check your work. These days, everybody checks everyone's work. We've been talking recently on and on. Listeners have been weighing in about whether or not you could be a porn star on OnlyFans. And I think the one side that I keep coming on is, listen, own what you do. Just be aware that people may come for you, but as long as you own and stand your ground,
that's right.
No one can really come for you. I mean, you might lose a job here and there. I don't know, depending on the particular job, but it's about being honest with everybody. And I just think, it's amazing to me that Sam Brinton and now George Santos, they're lying. And it's particularly when you run for office like this, it's like, wow, the balls they have.
It's insane to me, especially like you said, in the information age where all of this information is right at your fingertips.
Yeah. Anybody could check this stuff out.
Yeah, it's wild to me. So I think that all of the allegations towards George Santos are really quite serious. The things that they said about their resume, as far as concerning their employment experience and their education, all of that could be overcome. What really kind of gets me is that this person is benefiting off of someone else's tragedy. That's when you basically go under the jail for me. And in the thought of public opinion, the court of public opinion, they are awash. They are just done for as far as that goes.
Well, and they're representing us as a
they
country.
Don't represent me. Oh, wait.
No. Actually, Kodi, well, they represent New York, and I don't know if they're a part of the House of Representatives that are representing New York. So essentially, they are representing your state, which you reside in. I know you have 9 homes in different places and 19 jobs, like you've stated before in past episodes. But currently,
I have been lying. Maybe I could get away with it.
Yeah, but keeping them honest. What is MJ saying, Kodi?
And MJ says, "But
we're live, by the way.
Where was his Democratic opponent and the opposition research when all of this was easily discoverable?"
So he was, Zimmerman, last name Zimmerman, he said, no, the media, they were checking up on him and they did find a lot of this stuff. I watched an interview this morning. However, the media did not pick up on him. There was, how everything comes in cycles, and it didn't get traction enough, but he was trying. And I know I voted pretty much across the board Democratic in the last thing. So I'm not sure if he was in our district to vote. Yeah. Was he on our ballot, Kodi?
No,
probably. Yeah. You know what? He was, because it's elected to the House of Representatives. So he would have been on our ballot. I'm pretty sure 100%. Well, 90%.
I trust you.
Well, we don't trust me too much.
We're not scientist gays, but we are political gays.
We are kind of getting a little more political. Yeah, exactly. I wanted to make an announcement before I moved on, and I lost my train of thought.
MJ says he represents parts of Queens and Nassau County.
Okay.
That's not us.
Thank you very much for keeping us honest and real. Yeah, he doesn't really represent us. So we didn't vote. He wasn't on our ballot, Kodi.
Yes. Well, yeah.
All right. That's okay. But I can't wait to see how this plays out. I love that kind of drama. All right. Moving on. We love giving advice, and we're about to give some major advice to some Redditors. By the way, you can always ask us for sex and relationship advice, and all you got to do is be honest with us, and we will give you the God honest truth back at you. Simply go to our Instagram page at TAGSPodcast and DM us there. Or if you want old school it, go to TAGSPodcast.com and you can email us. So let's get right into it, Kodi.
All right.
Swimming-bathroom wrote, how do tops feel about hung bottoms? I'm a hung top. Ooh. Who likes fucking hung bottoms. I know there is bottoms that wear jock straps because they don't want their dicks seen or played with. I personally get turned on and want to dig deeper into a bottom if I see their semi-hard cocks jumping around.
Oh,
I think
my.
it's even hotter if the bottom is hung as well. I personally like jerking off my bottom while I fuck them, even though fucking them like they just have a, should I say the word?
Yes, say it. Go for it.
Pussy and no dick is hot too. Okay, I just broke every Facebook rule, but that's okay. Hey, we're on YouTube, and I don't think they care that much. We're a sex podcast, and God damn it, let's go. All right, let me just give my opinion here, as falling into the hung bottom category. Since all bets are off.
Is it on your resume?
You know, I'm updating it right now as we speak. So
Okay,
it goes
LinkedIn,
the 2023 version of it will include it. It'll be at the very top of it.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of it. And I have always thought, all my tops thought they're into it and think, yeah, it's a hot thing. I've heard some other friends of mine say they almost don't want to I don't want to see that, Valerie, cherish it, where they don't even want to see the dick that much. Where do you fall on the spectrum? And I think it's a good thing, a hung bottom.
Oh, yes. I do I do too. But there was a time when I was intimidated by a bottom with a bigger dick than me.
Why?
It was because I was younger.
Lucy, please explain yourself.
I was younger, and I feel like I felt like I was still kind of in those gender roles of those heteronormative gender roles, I should say.
Were you projecting, Kodi?
I completely was. I have since grown out of that because I am, I'm a gay man. I enjoy being with a man, so I enjoy a man's form, and I enjoy a large penis. I can say with absolute firmness that I like a firm penis. So big, small, in between. I love them. I love them all. So bring. Well, I have a boyfriend, so
you can still enjoy and appreciate.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Well, from a distance, I can. So yes. Send me all the dick. No, don't send me any dick pics. I can't take that either.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just a myth that, I mean, many of hung bottom, they might be versatile, but yeah, I think it's a silly thing to even get caught up in. I think it's just if you have decided with your partner for that night or that evening or in the club or wherever you're doing it, outside on the beach, sex on the beach, that this is who you're with, and you've just determined who's going to top and who's going to bottom, or you're going to flip. Like, get out of your head and enjoy the moment.
Yes.
That person's clearly, whether they're hung or not, and wants to be pounded right now. And just get into the moment. I think you can get into your head about all that stuff. And
definitely.
Yeah. What's Bryce saying? I love
Bryce is saying he thought that bottoms wore jock straps during sex to show that they don't need to jerk off while getting fucked. Sort of as a way to show how well they can take dick. So I did not know that.
Well, that's a viewpoint. It's mostly to keep the balls in place. Well, I don't know. We talked about this on Kodi on a recent episode. I can't remember if we nixed it or not, but we were going to talk about, or maybe we did, about jock straps and who wears jock straps, whether bottoms wear jock straps or tops. And I think I know in our meeting for sure. Yeah. We definitely said tops like to wear jock straps too.
I love wearing
one thing that I didn't say in our meeting is jock straps really came from the sports world. So to hold your junk. So everybody wore them in baseball, where I think they originated.
Is that what we're calling it now?
Well, no, they originated in
Oh,
sports.
you mean actual sports? I'm
Actual
sorry.
sports to hold your junk together, because as you're running around, you didn't want that thing flopping around, and so it really was from a practical point. I think us gays have really latched onto it, jockstrap night and all that kind of stuff. But I know plenty of tops that like to wear them too because they're sexy,
Yeah.
and many tops have sexy asses too.
Oh
I
yeah.
appreciate a hot top with a sexy ass, and he can simply pull it down and show me the goods, and we can get busy.
Pull it to the
So I
side.
think that whole thing of who wears it and who doesn't is sort of not. I mean, I think anybody, a lot of tops, bottoms, we enjoy them because it's become a fashion, sexy statement in my mind.
I love my beautiful big ass. I think they're like my twin engines for when I'm fucking somebody. So yep.
Callie Dad agrees. Oh my God, we grew up in youth sports wearing jock straps. Yep. Xavier says it is mostly to keep balls in place. Right. I think that's the original point of a jock strap.
And to protect your balls.
To protect them, but to keep them in shape, because as you were running, it was just all over the place, and this like held them together. It's like a bra for your balls.
Yeah, but
why do women wear bras? Because if they did it, they're all over the place. So it's holding them. It's some structure. So I can't believe we're breaking down what.
But that's why you have a cup in a jock strap too, because
that's protection.
Yes, were to hit the jock strap, then it's protecting your balls.
Yeah. Let's not forget cups. Absolutely. Yep. I hear you. So, yeah. But I think back to the topic at hand. Yeah. I think, hung bottoms have their place. Absolutely. Get over it, person. Okay. Let's read this one that was not suitable for work. How do you stop yourself wanting more and enjoy great sex for what it is? Let me read it on because I know that didn't say a lot. This person writes, lately I've been feeling horny quite a lot. I have a partner who I have great compatibility with. He's blessed down below, okay, back to that, and loves fucking the living daylights out of me. Rough, hard, deep. However, there's a part of me that wants it rougher, harder, and deeper. What? Now, I honestly can't expect much more from him. He already has a huge cock, and I don't think he could physically fuck me any harder and deeper. I'm quite self-aware. I love my partner, and I'm very well aware that I'm super lucky to have landed such a super stud. I'm really happy, and I know that the sex is already great. So you're kind of probably wondering where this is going, right?
I know, right?
Let me pull it in and hit that home run for you. Back to sports.
Who are you?
I don't know. I came to Oakland and all of a sudden, yeah. Anyway, and also I know how getting carried away with pleasure seeking can lead down a dark and dangerous path. So this guy's pretty self-aware, this person. Yeah. I'm not much of a fan of toys, and I'm quite insecure. So introducing other people isn't part of the game. I guess my question is, here we go, as he reels it in. How can I enjoy our sex more as it is without wanting to constantly up the ante? So this is somebody who's basically, which I appreciate, being really honest and saying they're an insatiable sexual appetite. They're very complimentary and in a realization that they have a good partner that's really satisfying them, but they can't seem to help but want more. I don't know that they're really doing a good enough job of expressing what more would look like.
He wants it faster, harder, and deeper, is what I heard.
Yeah, but that sounds like a song. I mean, what do you mean? It sounds like the person's giving it to them.
Give me a man after midnight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think it's. Somebody said in the comment section, maybe you should just try fisting, because that really, and I've gone down that road before, and it can be intense and more deeper and harder and faster and all that stuff that you just said. I was going to get into that rap song, but I won't. And so, but he said, no, I'm not really into fisting. So it's like, do you really know what you want?
Yeah.
And maybe you are kind of going down that dark path, because if you have, maybe it's just about changing the way you have sex with them, and maybe it's about creating some fantasy, and maybe the fantasy because it sounds like sex is good, but maybe like you were saying the other day, Kodi, your boyfriend wants to often have, what was it, romantic sex, or
No,
what was the word?
housewife sex. Is that?
Housewives. Get him off of the Bravo network, for crying out loud, and stop watching those Housewives.
Hallmark, the Hallmark.
Not Hallmark, no. And you're like, no, I want dirtier sex.
Yeah,
And so, what's your thoughts on this? Because I
Yeah.
don't know what advice.
Well, first, Bryce says that there are penis extensions on sex websites. So I think that's a very good option for this person because, but I do agree with you that they don't necessarily know what they want. I would say try, and they shut down so many things that I was going to actually suggest. While they said they don't like toys, they don't like introducing somebody else into.
Fisting, don't like.
They don't they don't like anything really. So yes, figure out what it is you do like, but also introduce some intimacy into because he that's
So
one
maybe
thing
they
he
need a
did.
little Hallmark and Housewives
Maybe
sex. That they need to subtract a little from your sex life and put it into theirs, and you need to get a little
Exactly.
harder, faster, rub it like a dip.
Hey.
Hey, can we create a song with this?
Yeah, let's do it. I am ready. Harder, faster.
Hey.
But yeah, introduce a little bit more intimacy into your romance and see where that puts you and where you feel, because I think when harder and faster is
Sorry, I was
not doing
reading
it
one of
for
our
you.
comments.
Yeah, I
Xavier.
saw. When it's not doing it for you, that means that there is something else that's missing from your sexual life and your sexual journey. So you really need to do some self exploration to figure out what that is, basically.
And first steps first,
Oh,
it is.
Xavier, no, ma'am.
Read it.
Xavier says they should just get married. That usually kills the libido. Oh, that is so horrible.
He wants to amp it up, though. That's the thing. But he's at a lack of really expressing what that really is, right?
Yeah.
I do think, though, and we've said this before, kudos to him for putting it out there and questioning it and getting some responses back. And I didn't
Really
go
is the
through
first
all of,
step.
you know what I mean? And I think putting it out there to get some feedback where he's at. And he also, I appreciate where he said, I don't want to find myself going down a dark path of, because we all know how sometimes you can go down a dark path of sex too, where it can lead to just some
I've
darker.
been there.
It's just and I think we need to say kudos to him for putting it out there and questioning, and maybe he'll come to the realization that he has it good, and he'll come up with something that works for him or communication that will keep it going on and high for them. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of an interesting one because he definitely knows what he doesn't want. And so,
Oh, he
yeah.
knows that in spades. He knows.
Yeah. All righty. Well, this has been so much fun. I want to remind thanks everyone for playing, and thanks for our studio audience during this holiday season. We really enjoyed it this year. Well, a couple things I want to tell you about is looking at a projection for 2023. We're going to be having a lot of special guests coming in pretty much every week in the new year. Not in January, but February. We're booking a lot of guests, some that have been on the show that you'll recognize, and some new guests every week, because we want to open this up and we want more of you guys to benefit from a larger conversation of sex positivity. And that's our goal as we project for 2023. I also want to remind you that next week we are taking the week off, and it's kind of our holiday. And so the 28th, we will be off. But there is a brand new Tags podcast dropping next Tuesday. So check that out. You can always go to TAGSPodcast.com to get all information. And you can follow my co-host, Kodi Maurice Doggette, as he's a life coach. Follow him on Instagram at KMD Coaching. KMD Coaching, or on his personal account on Instagram, Mr. Maurice. Follow me at @Steve V on Instagram. And then, of course, as I'll be in the Bay Area in San Francisco, I'll be posting some stuff. So check that out. And of course, follow the show at TAGSPodcast, on Twitter at TAGSPodcast, on TikTok at TAGSPodcast. It's really easy, at TAGSPodcast. And of course, go to our website, TAGSPodcast.com, for everything related to Tags Podcast.
There it is.
Thanks, guys. There it is. MJ says, fun to be with you guys live. Have a great night. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you, Bryce. Thank you, everyone. Feliz Navidad. I love
Feliz
that.
Navidad.
Can you sing us out, Kodi?
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad.
Yes, you better sing.
We want to wish you a Merry Christmas, as the lyrics go. And in the meantime, continue having hot, gay sex. Happy Hanukkah. Absolutely.
Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Yes.
All of, yes.